You're watching Republic. First up, the confirmation coming in on that encounter that we told you about that broke out in Handwara yesterday, and security forces successfully neutralizing 2 Jaish-e-Mohammed terrorists. However, news also coming in that India losing 5 of its security personnel, including 4 army Jawans and 1 police officer as well. Zeenat, my colleague, is joining us, explaining to us the Handwara encounter, how it started and the situation as of now prevailing after the encounter reportedly is now over. Zeenat, give us the details, please. We're getting to know that the encounter for now is over, but unfortunately, India losing 5 of its brave hearts coming together to mourn the bereaved and their families, as well as the statement that has been released on part of the army based on intelligence inputs that terrorists were taking civilian inmates of a house in Changimul in Handwara of Kupwara district hostage. This is in North Kashmir, a joint operation that was launched by the army and the Jammu and Kashmir police. That was launched yesterday on 2nd of May. A team comprising of 5 army and Jammu and Kashmir police personnel entered the target area occupied by the terrorists to evacuate the civilians. The team of Army and Jammu and Kashmir police entered the target area and successfully took out all the civilians who were held hostage. However, during the process, the team was subjected to a heavy volume of fire by terrorists. In ensuing firefight, 2 terrorists were eliminated, and team of 5 security forces comprising of 2 army officers, 2 army soldiers and 1 Jammu and Kashmir sub-inspector attained martyrdom in the service to our nation. Zeenat is with us. Zeenat, give us the details of the encounter in Handwara, please.
See, Amita, this was an encounter that continued for around 18 hours. The gunfight was there for 18 hours in Chogiwal, Handwara, that comes in district Kupwara, which is a part of district Kupwara in North Kashmir. In fact, the army officer who laid down his life for nation today, Colonel Ashutosh Sharma, he was also the commanding officer of 21 ARA. He was leading from the front along with his boys. And also when they came to know about that the terrorists have held hostage the inmates of that very house, they went inside and evacuated them. But when they were coming out, there was an exchange of fire between them and the terrorists, and in that they lost their life. But before they attained martyrdom, the 2 heavily armed terrorists were neutralized by them. In this operation, 2 terrorists were neutralized, but simultaneously it is a huge loss to the forces as well, because there had been 2 army officers, 2 soldiers, and also Jammu and Kashmir police sub-inspector today attained martyrdom. See, I'll show you, Amita, the visuals of that very office where Colonel Sharma used to sit. See, right from this, you can see this road that leads to his office. This is some 20 meters from this place where I'm standing is the office of Colonel Sharma. As per the people here, civilians, not only that the forces are mourning the loss of the bravest officer, but kindest of human being, but at the same time, even the civilians are mourning his death, because he was known one of the most helpful officer of 21 ARA, who always used to help locals. And we are seeing that mourning is completely in the air. In fact, not only JKP lost its member, but also army has had huge casualty. But at the same time, we are also seeing the way they neutralize these dreaded terrorists. In fact, what I'm picking from the sources is that the 2 terrorists who have been neutralized in today's operation, 1 is a local and 1 is foreign terrorist. But we need to wait and watch what the JKP will tell us in its press release. But yes, 2 terrorists were neutralized by the security forces in 18-hour-long operation. In fact, yesterday evening, when it was raining very heavily, the operation was slowed down also, keeping the weather conditions in mind. But in the morning, the body of these terrorists were retrieved from the encounter site. But yes, it is the biggest loss to the forces in Handwara. And although everybody is mourning the death of Colonel Sharma, who has been a great human being, I tell you, Amita, I have met him just 20 days back. In fact, we had lunch together. He was one of the finest officers I have personally met when it comes to forces, who was always on toes with his job and also used to be so helpful to everybody. So it is a loss to the entire fraternity and particularly the army forces, but simultaneously it is a big loss to the Handwara people as well.
Well, we also condoled the martyrdom that has been achieved by Colonel Asutosh Sharma, who was the commanding officer of Army's 21 Rashtriya Rifles Battalion, Major Anuj Sood Naik Rajesh Kumar and Lance Naik Dinesh Singh, and Sub-Inspector Shakil Qazi of the Jammu and Kashmir Police, who attained martyrdom of more than 18-hour-long operation. The Army side, the statement, if you can tell us what's been put out on that statement, Zeenat.
See, Abhita, as far as the statement, that is the formal press release that had come from the army, is that these terrorists have held hostage the civilians, the inmates of this particular house in which the terrorists were hiding, and then the company, in fact, the 21 RR, those who were doing the anti-militancy operation, particularly the 5 men, the group of 5 people, 2 army officers, 2 soldiers, and also sub-inspector of Jammu and Kashmir Police, they went inside to evacuate those civilians. But when they were coming out, there was a heavy exchange of fire between the terrorists and these officers. But yes, they neutralized both of them, but at the same time, they attained martyrdom. Though Indian Army salutes the valor and courage of their soldiers. But I tell you, Amita, it's a personal loss, because this is after a long time I'm seeing the mourning in air in such a manner, because we have been seeing for the past couple of months rather, that whenever there is an anti-militancy operation, there is hardly any casualty, whether it's from the forces side or the civilian, when we talk what we call as collateral damage. But after a long time, we see that the people are mourning the death of the army officer, because if you remember in Handwara also last time, just a month back, there was a heavy exchange of fire between the security forces and military. That time also Handwara had to witness casualties from the forces side. But before that, yes, again, that operation also, the terrorists were neutralized. In fact, when we talk about the Handwara, particularly the topography, and we have seen it, the trend in Handwara is that most of the time the Handwara is dominated by foreign militants, because of the track that you have, Rajwa track, that makes it easy for the militants, but terrorists to come in from POK, although there had been number of infiltration bids that had been foiled continuously by the Indian Army. But as of now, we see that the people, the military terrorists who were a part of this operation, anti-militancy of it, when the security force neutralizes, we are seeing that what we are picking from the sources is that the 2 bodies that have been recovered are, one is a foreign terrorist and one is a local boy. But this is a big loss to the whole Indian Army, because there has been a casualty in huge number when we talk about today's encounter in Handwara. As of now, 2 terrorists were neutralized by the forces. Operation of 21 RR along with SOG Handwara and CRPF was part of this 18-hour-long operation.
Well, the nation salutes its brave hearts. The forces that we are talking about, 2 terrorists successfully eliminated, but the Handwara operation highlighted definitely the determination of our security forces to safeguard the lives of the people and displayed supreme sacrifice while fighting and eliminating terrorists. This happened in Handwara, over 18-hour-long operation where 2 terrorists too have been successfully neutralized. Zeenat, for the moment, thank you very much. We'll be heading into a short break. Back with more news updates.